All right. Now open up OBS, do this, that, and the other, and hit start. Okay. All right. Bam. We've started. Now, I'm going to share the live out so that maybe some of my friends will come in and do Bible study with me this morning. And if you guys can be tapping that screen and sharing, oh, I went in, out of the light, and now it can't find me. Make it find me. What if I swipe out and swipe back in? There we go. That worked. Hey, Alexander. Hey, everybody. Okay. I'm going to give people a minute to get here, and then we will go. Good morning, Tiny. Brana, Tiny. Anybody want to come up and hang out while we do Bible study this morning? The guest box is open to friendlies. Oh, let me grab my iPad so I can say hi to YouTube and look things up if we need to. Oh, why am I not on my headphones? Silly me. Okay, that's better. All right. Now I feel a little better. I feel a little bit. I missed my little pink headphones. All right. So let's see what we got. Alrighty then. Hey DJ Hot Tub. Hey Mr. Curtis, how are you? Thank you so much. Alright, there's Grandma Zana. I love having someone to talk to when I'm doing this. Otherwise I feel so Hi Grandma, how are you?
I can't stay for too long, but I'm good for now.
Okay, cool. Well, we're in chapter 9 of Numbers, I think. Looks like. I'm going to double check. But I think that's where I left off. Yeah, it looks like chapter 9. So we're going to talk about the Passover at Sinai.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Delaney. All right, you guys, as you join, please tap the screen, share out the live, do all the good things, do your heart me's, get your team points, because those help boost us in the team rankings, which helps boost me out overall whenever I go live. Share it out to your Discord, your friends, and your enemies. The enemies aren't invited to come up. Okay, here we go. If you have questions along the way, during a lot of my chats, you don't get in trouble for using all caps to get my attention, because we do a lot of questions and answers in my lives. The only ones when we don't want you doing that is when it's the conversations with Christians. But if you have a question, go ahead, put it in all caps, and I will read it and try to answer it. I can look it up or what have you. So just let me know. And you know, Brenda, if you have questions or commentary, you are free to interrupt, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Chapter 9. The Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they had come out of the land of Egypt, saying, "Let the Israelites keep the Passover at its appointed time on the 14th day of this month at twilight. You shall keep it at its appointed time, according to all its statutes and all its regulations, you shall keep it." So Moses told the Israelites that they should keep the Passover. They keep the Passover in the first month, on the 14th day of the month of twilight, in the wilderness of Sinai, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So the Israelites did. Now there were certain people who were unclean through touching a corpse, so that they could not keep the Passover on that day. They came before Moses and Aaron on that day and said to him, "Although we are unclean through touching a corpse, why must we be kept from presenting the Lord's offering at its appointed time among the Israelites?" Moses spoke to them, "Wait so that I may hear what the Lord will command concerning you." It's so weird.
Yes. You look amazing, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't know. It's just so weird. I remember, like, I've told people this before. As a young Methodist Christian, I always wished I was Catholic because I liked all of the rituals the Catholics had compared to us Methodists who didn't really have very many rituals. You know, obviously, I think all Christians have rituals, let's face it, you know, but there's a lot more, like, you know, touching the water and crossing yourself and things like that you just don't do as a Methodist. But now when I reread all these, you know, hey Alexander, all of these pages and stuff, I'm like, gosh, I really, you know, can't deal with all these rituals. They're just all so pointless. If you are in the guest box, I only bring up friendlies that I know. This is not a debate space. It's just Bible study for non-believers. Do you ever read from Song of Songs? That's my jam, and it doesn't mention God. Actually, we're going in order, so I will get there one day, very far off. I will get there. I take weeks off, and when I do that, that really sets us back. Okay. Anyway, any questions or comments regarding this so far, that these people are unclean because they touched a body and now they want to know about what to do so that they can sacrifice?
I think it's kind of like, what's the word? Like it's twofold. So we can't sacrifice because we're unclean, but we'll be unclean if we don't sacrifice, basically.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me turn my fan on. I think it's muting you a little bit. I forgot it was on.
A lot softer, a lot quieter.
Yeah, it is a powerful fan. Okay. There we go. I'm back. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Only two books in the Bible don't mention God. It's a good trivia question. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
Yep. The other one's Esther.
Pretty interesting. I wonder why they don't even mention him if he's so important. That's kind of weird. Hey, Slice, how are you? Hi, Holly, welcome in. Okay. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the Israelites, saying, any one of you or your descendants who is unclean through touching a corpse or is away on a journey shall still keep the Passover to the Lord. I think you have a little feedback, Granny. You might mute while I'm reading. In the second month, on the 14th day at twilight, they will keep it. They shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall leave none of it until morning, nor break a bone of it, according to all the statute for the Passover. They shall keep it. But anyone who is clean and is not on a journey, and yet refrains from keeping the Passover, shall be cut off from the people for not presenting the Lord's offering at its appointed time. Such a one shall bear the consequences for the sin. Any alien residing among you who wishes to keep the Passover to the Lord shall do so according to the statute of the Passover and according to its regulation. You shall have one statute for both the resident alien and the native. I don't know if you watch Born Again Atheist, but one thing I like that she brings up is, while the character Yahweh in this book, he might be anti a lot of things that the right-wing conservatives are anti, but he is not anti-immigration.
True.
He is constantly telling you to treat the immigrants like they are one of you.
Yeah,
And she points out that he probably does this because Jesus was an immigrant. You know? You said something, but I couldn't hear you. When for some reason it like cut your mic out. Grana?
I'm trying. It's not
Oh,
working.
okay. Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, and now she's gone. Hey, Hazen, how are you? Good to see you. All right, well, I will keep going. If you guys have questions or commentary, just put it in the chat. Put it in all caps if you don't mind. That way I can see it really easy, you know. I'm going to invite Grana up because I don't think she meant to disconnect. Thought you got raptured.
Oh, darn it. Dang it, man. If I could have been raptured. Oh, wait, I would have been stuck with all those people. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, what
like, if anybody's a Christian, like what if they're supposed to be, it would be Grana. So she's probably the only person who's gonna get raptured.
You're so funny.
Hey,
What I was
Justin.
saying was there's only one place in the Bible where it says something against foreigners. One place.
Oh, is
And
it?
that's
What
the
is it, by the way?
The slavery laws that you can,
Oh, yeah.
if you have aliens living amongst you, they can be slaves. So
Yeah. But it does say like you can acquire them from the aliens living among you. So it is actually not the aliens that you're acquiring. You're acquiring slaves from them.
I don't know. No, I think it's. I think
it says you can acquire them from the aliens living among you. Does the Bible say you can acquire slaves from the aliens living among you, or that you can acquire slaves that are aliens living among you? Hey, Jared. Good to see you. I've got a little flash goal. I'm going to pop it up. If you guys can help me, I don't know what it is yet. That would be great. Oh, it's just 11 roses. It means 11 different people have to send me a rose. Just one rose. But if 11 people could do that, that'd be awesome. It says, the Bible explicitly allows acquiring slaves from the foreigners who live among you. So you're actually, they probably are like slave dealers.
Okay. Still not good, but
yeah, not good, not good. They probably go to their country, you know, and bring slaves to the Israelites and reside with them, you know, type of thing. Wow. Okay. The cloud and the fire. On the day the tabernacle was set up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant, and from evening until morning it was over the tabernacle. I'm gonna mute you while I read, okay? Having the appearance of fire, it was always so. The cloud covered it by day, and the appearance of fire by night. Whenever the cloud lifted from over the tent, then the Israelites would set out. And in the place where the cloud settled down, there the Israelites would camp. At the command of the Lord, the Israelites would set out, and at the command of the Lord, they would camp. As long as the cloud rested over the tabernacle, they would remain in camp. Even when the cloud continued over the tabernacle many days, the Israelites would keep the charge of the Lord and would not set out. Sometimes the cloud would remain a few days over the tabernacle, and according to the command of the Lord, they would remain in camp. Then, according to the command of the Lord, they would set out. Sometimes the cloud would remain from evening until morning, and when the cloud lifted in the morning, they would set out. Or if it continued for a day and a night, when the cloud lifted, they would set out. I think we get it, dude. No, I'm sorry. Let me keep going. Whether it was 2 days or a month or a longer time that the cloud continued over the tabernacle, resting upon it, the Israelites would remain in camp and would not set out. But when it lifted, they would set out. At the command of the Lord, they would camp, and at the command of the Lord, they would set out. They kept the charge of the Lord at the command of the Lord by Moses. That was so repetitive. Like, we get it. they followed the command of the Lord. They set out, okay? I do think that this whole religion is based on fear. Everything about this religion is based on fear. And even, bye, Grana. Love you. Even like this, like, why does it have to be like this, like storm cloud looming and or fire looming or whatever? Like, it's, I don't know. I just think that if you're an all-powerful, all-loving God, couldn't you? That's okay. No worries. Thank you so much for coming up, because you know I love when you come up here. Why aren't you more like a Dolly Parton or a Keanu Reeves? You know, why don't you make me want to love you because you're so kind and good? Like, why is it always looming and I don't know. Why do you always have to be so threatening? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think that you attract more flies with honey than you do with shit. Well, no, you do with shit more, huh? That's why. Okay, wait. These are inside thoughts, Crystal. Okay. The Silver Trumpets, chapter 10. Chapter 10. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Make 2 silver trumpets. You shall make them of hammered work, and you shall use them for summoning the congregation for breakfast camp. When both are blown, the whole congregation shall assemble before you at the entrance of the tent of meeting. But if only one is blown, then the leaders, the heads of the tribes of Israel, shall assemble before you. When you blow an alarm, the camps on the east side shall set out. When you blow a second alarm, the camps on the south side shall set out. An alarm is to be blown whenever they are to set out. But when the assembly is to be gathered, you shall blow, but you shall not sound an alarm. The sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow the trumpets. This shall be a perpetual institution for you throughout your generations. When you go to war in your land against the adversary who oppresses you, you shall sound an alarm with the trumpets, so that you may be remembered before the Lord your God and be saved from your enemies. Also, on your days of rejoicing, at your appointed festivals, and at the beginnings of your months, you shall blow the trumpets. Over your burnt offerings and over your sacrifices of well-being, they shall serve as a reminder on your behalf before the Lord your God. I am the Lord your God." When I picture them blowing these trumpets, I picture like a trumpet for revelry, and the fact that he talks about war here, and you know, it just like solidifies the fact that Yahweh was a war God. That's what he was. And then, hey, Sonny, how are you? Good to see you. We are in Numbers chapter 10, okay? And I just read like verse 1 through 10 of chapter 10. Good to see you too. We are always taught like this God is like, I don't know, as a Christian, I was like taught like this God is loving, like a fucking cuddly bear loving, okay? Like, yes, he had this bad side, but that was just if you were disobedient and evil, not if you were just an everyday Christian or whatever. Like, for you, you were chosen, you were loved, you were divine, you were holy, you were sanctified. He loved you. But as you read the way he treats his people, these people are soldiers for him. This is his army. These aren't people he loves. These are people who follow orders. That's what these people are. It is the antithesis of what I was taught that this God was. Like you see the pictures of Jesus with the little children and the lamb and his hand on, somebody's back, and he's just lovingly watching over him. No, you're a soldier in his army, and he's preparing you for battle. Constantly, always. If there's not a battle here on earth, they make one up, because there's a spiritual battle. Hey, Jared, how are you? Hey, and Paula, how are you today? Yeah, he's just constantly proving that he is a Canaanite war god as you read these pages. Departure from Sinai. In the second year, in the second month, on the 12th day of the month, the cloud lifted over the tabernacle of the covenant. Then the Israelites set out by stages from the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud settled down in the wilderness of Paran. They set out for the first time at the command of the Lord by Moses. The standard of the camp of Judah set out first, company by company, and over the whole company was Nishan, son of Amminadab. Over the company of the tribe of Issachar was Nathaniel, son of Zuar, and over the company of the tribe of Zebulun was Eliab, son of Helon. When the tabernacle was taken down, and the Gershonites and the Merarites who carried the tabernacle set out, next the standard of the camp of Reuben set out, company by company, and over the whole company was Eleazar, son of Shadur. Over the company of the tribe of Simeon was Shelumiel. I can't say these names. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. If that is your actual name, I'm sorry. Okay, because I'm going to butcher. Do people actually still use these names? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Over the company of the tribe of Simeon was Shelumiel, son of Zurishaddai. And over the company of the tribe of Gad was Eliasaph, son of Deuel. I do not know. I really need to take a Hebrew class. If you guys would like to help fund me so that I can learn Hebrew from Dr. Bowen, all the places to tip me are right there in my bio. Jay, son of a gun. That's who it is, Jay. Let me see. Son of D-E-U-E-L. Somebody phonetically put that in chat, because to me it's Deuel. Deuel? Deuel. I don't know how else to say that. I'm on verse 20. Verse 20. This is their departure from Sinai. Then the Kohathites, who carried the holy things, set out, and the tabernacle was set up before their arrival. Next, the standard of the Ephraimite camp set out, company by company, and over the whole company was Elishama, son of Ammihud. Over the company of the tribe of Manasseh was Gamaliel, son of Pedahzur. And over the company of the tribe of Benjamin was Abidan, son of Gideoni. Gideoni, I don't know. I don't think I said that guy's name right. Gideon. Hey, Ariel, how are you? Good to see you. Tommy, twin, what's up? If any of my friendlies want to come up and hang out with me, Sunny, Ariel, Tommy, I usually do better when I have somebody hanging out with me. Also, if you guys have anything you want me to look up or any questions about anything I read, anything comes to mind, let me know in chat and I will look it up. I'm just, I don't know, like these particular types of chapters bore me so much. Hey, twin, how are you?
I'm good, twin. How you doing?
Doing good. Are you
It's
staying out
still
of trouble or making trouble?
making.
Okay. I
Always.
expect nothing less. I I am in Numbers right now, just reading their departure from Sinai. I'm going to finish this up and hopefully we'll get into something a little more interesting. However, Joel Reed's Bible is ahead of me in the reading. I think we started around the same time, but I missed too many weeks, so he gets way ahead of me. And
He's
he
in
told me,
numbers?
yeah, we're in Numbers,
Wow.
but he's not. He's way further ahead of me. He's like, he might be in Deuteronomy or he might even be further. But he has assured me this whole book is boring, so I don't know. That's okay. Nobody listens to him. Huh? Okay, let's see. Then the standard of the camp of Dan, acting as a rear guard of all the camps, set out company by company, and over the whole company was Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. Over the company of the tribe of Asher was Pagiel, son of Ochran. And over the company of the tribe of Naphtali was Ahira, son of Anan. This was the order of march of the Israelites, company by company, when they set out. I wonder, like, I'm sure to Jewish people, there's probably a real deep significance to the order, but like, what did it have to do for anybody spiritually for us to just have that in this book? Like, what's the significance for us? Why do I need to know what order they left their camp?
And
You know?
I've never heard a preacher preach from one of those
Right.
from one of the he takes a text and he's like, son of
Yeah. Yeah.
who are you?
Like
Are
this.
you a son of a or are you a son of sermon topic?
Uh, um, okay. We'll finish this up here. Moses said to Hobab, son of Reuel, or however you say his name, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place of which the Lord said, I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good to Israel. But he said to him, I will not go, but I will go back to my own land and to my kindred. He said, do not leave us, for you know where we should camp in the wilderness, and you will serve as eyes for us. Moreover, if you go with us, whatever good the Lord does for us, the same we will do for you. So they set out from the mount of the Lord 3 days' journey, with the ark of the covenant of the Lord going before them 3 days' journey, to seek out a resting place for them. The cloud of the Lord being over them by day, and when they set out for the camp. Whenever the ark set out, Moses would say, arise, O Lord, let your enemies be scattered and your foes flee before you. And whenever it came to rest, he would say, return, O Lord, of the 10,000 thousands of Israel. I want to look up the significance of Moses's little chant here. Yes, uh,
Let your enemies be
I'm
scattered.
yeah, it's
And
just,
yeah, when did it first show up? Because there's a few songs, a few gospel songs that use that text. I'm
oh,
interested
really?
too when it first showed up and how many times shows
10.
up. Yeah, there's this little gospel song. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Let God arise. Little bluesy gospel song.
There you go.
I didn't know it was
It's
Moses though.
Yeah, it's most, but I want to know like what, because to me, again, that's just about war. Why are we praying about our enemies being scattered? Because we're always at war. Why
And
is this God a God of war?
what does that even do?
I don't know. All right, here we go. These verses come right after the Israelites began their journey from Mount Sinai towards the promised land. The Ark of the Covenant, which symbolized God's presence, was carried ahead of the people to lead and protect them. The two short prayers were said each time the ark moved or rested, almost like liturgical invocations or battle cries. See? In ancient Israel practice, this made the ark's movement a spiritually and military event. When it moved, God rose to scatter enemies. When it rested, God returned to dwell among the people. Those two verses are often viewed as liturgical fragment, possibly a very early Israelite prayer that predates the rest of the Numbers narrative. Some scholars even think it was inserted from an older tradition of ark procession songs used during warfare or temple ceremonies. The rabbinical tradition and Jewish teachings. The inverted nuns. In the Torah scroll, these two verses are enclosed by inverted Hebrew letter nuns, a rare scribal mark. Rabbinic tradition, Talmud Shabbat 115b through 116a says, this marks these verses as a book within a book, effectively making the Torah into 7 books instead of 5. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers 1 through 1 through 10, 34. Numbers 10, 35, 36. Numbers 11 through Deuteronomy. This highlights how significant these two verses were viewed, not just as a transition, but as a distinct sacred section. Isn't that wild that we would pick these two verses to look a little deeper in, and they actually kind of consider them 2 separate books? That's wild. It just seemed like they were just, like didn't belong, right? They really stood out. Moses' prayers protection. Rabbis interpret these verses as protective invocations. Rise up, O Lord, a call for God to lead Israel into battle and defeat enemies. Return, O Lord, an invitation for God to rest his presence, Shekinah, among the people when camped. These prayers embody divine movement and rest, reflecting the constant presence of God with Israel, whether in action or response. Spiritual lessons, rabbinical commentary like from Rashi, Sefrei, Bamidbar, and Midrash Tanhuma draws moral and spiritual ideas. When Israel sets out, it symbolizes human striving and the need for divine support to face adversity. When Israel rests, it symbolizes peace and divine indwelling, a reminder that true rest comes only when God's presence is among the people. The enemies can be interpreted literally, hostile nations, or spiritually, forces opposing righteousness. Oh God, there's the spiritual again, okay? Liturgical use. These lines were incorporated into Jewish prayer services and Torah processions. Even today, when the Torah is lifted and moved in synagogue, the congregation recites, and I am not going to say the Hebrew because I will butcher, but here's what the translation is. When the ark would travel, Moses would say, arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. So the context is the ark leads the Israelites on their journey from Sinai. The content, 2 short prayers. Moses marks God's movement and rest. Possibly an ancient ark liturgy used in early Israelite worship, seen as a special book within a book, a protective invocation, and a model for daily reliance on divine presence. Still recited during Torah processions in Jewish worship. That's pretty cool.
Some wild work.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you're saying, he's a war god. His worship is war songs and war cries.
Yeah, they are.
It makes me think like they keep saying Moses would say this, right? And it makes me think of that time when he came down from the mount the first time and saw the Hebrew people worshiping their old gods from Egypt. And God told him to tear their asses up. God told him, he said, your brother, get him. Your sister,
Mm-hmm.
get her. Their kids, get them. And wiped out a huge part of his own encampment. Now these are people that we just led out of Egypt, right? From shackles. And now you come down, you are our leader. You're our Moses. And you come down off the mountain. God tells you to wipe some of us out. Like that scripture trips me out all the time. So it's like I could
Yeah.
hear him singing that, like, let God arise and his enemies be scattered, but then like saying that you're his enemy, like his own people, like because you had doubt, because you are hungry, because you're unsheltered. Let God arise and let his enemies be scattered. How nasty of a response.
It's so nasty. It's so nasty. Um, I always tell people like when God like he's so nasty to his own people all the time. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to be doing conversations with Christians, and my topic is going to be Jesus is my abusive ex. And I just want like he's so abusive to these people. Oh, you're hungry? I'm going to kill you with quail because you fucking dared to ask me for food after I haven't fed you and told you I would. You know what I mean? Like he's just so mean always to them. And then he's like, "You're such a whore for for worshiping other." It's just like an abusive man.
That's so funny when you said that. My coworker just texted me, "You whore."
That's hilarious. Okay, chapter 11. Hey, Ty here. Good to see you. Hey, atheism is the default. Good to see you. Okay. Now, when the people complained in the hearing of the Lord about their misfortunes, the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled. Then the fire of the Lord burned against them and consumed some outlying parts of the camp. But the people cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire abated. So the place was called Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burned against them. And that word means that is burning. Um, so like now when the people complained in the hearing of the Lord about their misfortune, see, we're just talking about this. They fucking, like, I'm sorry. What? Like when times are tough, you're never allowed to say stuff sucks around here? How are you going to teach people how to regulate their emotions if you don't allow them to ever have an emotion?
It's like you
You know
ask
what I
to
mean?
speak to the manager. The manager comes out and you tell them what's wrong, and they go, "You have to leave."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah. But here he is. He's just being abusive again. I actually want to kind of highlight that for myself because I don't know that we just talk about enough about how these are his chosen people. These are the people he loves the most. And he just gets mad at them all the time. Every time they do anything. It's so ridiculous. He likes fire too. He's a pyromaniac because we have to burn our sacrifices to him. Here he's burning the camp, and then he's gonna burn you for an eternity. He burn witches. Okay. Verse 4. The rabble among them had a strong craving, and the Israelites also wept again and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we used to eat in Egypt for nothing, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our strength is dried up, and there is nothing at all but this manna to look at." Every time I hear these verses, I think of Keith Green because I used to love his song. Um, you want to go back to Egypt? and he would say, "Eating leeks and onions by the Nile. Ooh, what breath but dining out in style. Oh, my life's on the skids. Give me the pyramids. Because they were complaining about missing the leeks and the onions by the Nile. Oh, I'm so jealous that you could play all of the songs on piano. I loved the way he played the piano. Okay. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its color was like the color of gum resin. The people went around and gathered it, ground it in mills or beat it in mortars, then boiled it in pots and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was like the taste of cakes baked with oil. When the dew fell on the camp in the night, the manna would fall with it. Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, all at the entrance of their tents. Then the Lord became very angry, and Moses was displeased. So Moses said to the Lord, why have you treated your servant so badly? Why have I not found favor in your sight that you lay the burden of all this people on me? Did I conceive all this people? Did I give birth to them? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom as a nurse carries a suckling child to the land that you promised on oath to their ancestors? Where am I to get meat to give all this people? For they come weeping to me and say, give us meat to eat. Am I not able to carry all the people alone? For they are too heavy for me. If this is the way you are going to treat me, put me to death at once. If I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see my misery.
This is such a good monologue. Like, if I was going to like audition for like Juilliard or like some kind of conservatory, I would have read that because it shows so much of a like he's having this conversation with himself.
Yeah.
If Moses was a real person and he was saying all this, he's talking to his fucking self. And when he says like, is this burden on me? He's talking about that time when he had to come down from the mountain and whoop their ass and unalive all of his brethren. He's talking about leading them into poverty, hunger, the desert with no plan. He's like, if this is my burden that I must bear, just take me now. Like, it's so
Yeah.
dramatic and
It
so
is so dramatic.
such a conversation with himself. Is what's the name? He's giving me what's the name on that island? What's his name?
Oh,
With the
yes, like Tom
volleyball.
Hanks.
Yeah.
Yes. But also, like, it is okay. So you have this man who believes in this God, and the God isn't real, just like so many of us when we were Christians. And we were taught that God will never give you anything more than you can bear. But there really was not a God. And so when life hit us, like, didn't you ever feel like that before? Were you like, as a Christian, didn't you ever feel like, what the fuck are you doing? You always said you wouldn't give me more than I could bear. This is more than I could bear. This right here. Like, there was one year, well, I've had some bad years, but there's been years where I've lost loved ones and my job or my home or whatever, all in the same year. And I thought, how much more can I take? What are you doing? I thought that I was being a good and faithful servant. And I thought you were supposed to bless me. And I thought you were supposed to take care of me. And I thought you wouldn't give me more than I could bear. And I feel like this is kind of where Moses is at too. He's just like, what the fuck? Where's our covenant? Where's that promise? And God doesn't deliver on his promises. He never delivers on his promises. What are you talking about?
Talking about some if I feed the birds of the air and give grass to the beast in the field, like, how did you do that? And we got animals going extinct
Yeah,
because of your terrible people, your terrible creation.
exactly. Exactly. So the Lord said to Moses, gather me 70 of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them. Bring them to the tent of the meeting and have them take their place there with you. I will come down and talk with you there, and I will take some of the spirit that is on you and put it on them. And they shall bear the burden of the people along with you, so that you will not bear it all by yourself. And say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, for you have wailed in the hearing of the Lord, saying, if only we had meat to eat, surely it was better for us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat not only 1 day, or 2 days, or 5 days, or 10 days, or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes lonesome to you, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him. Who did we ever leave? Why did we ever leave Egypt? But Moses said, the people I am with number 600,000 on foot, and you say, I will give them meat, and they may eat for a whole month. Are there enough flocks and herds out to slaughter for them? And are there enough fish in the sea to catch for them? The Lord said to Moses, is the Lord's power limited? Now you shall see whether my word will come true or for you or not. So we're hungry. We would just like some meat. And it's like, you want meat, you little fucking spoiled brats? You're going to have meat until it's coming at your fucking nostrils. How
But
dare you?
isn't it a bird? Isn't it a bird? It's like quail or something.
Yeah.
I think this is so funny. It is so torturous. I mean, it's not funny that if this really happens to people,
right.
But it's just such a funny way for him to express his like, I don't deal with that shit. You want to complain? I'll give you something to cry about.
Right.
And even the abuse, like I don't know if this happened on your side of town, but in my community, if you was crying about something that didn't really matter, like you wanted McDonald's and your mom was like, we got food at home, we gonna eat at home, and you start crying about how you want McDonald's. She said, are you crying? And you have tears in your eyes because you want McDonald's. She'll be like, oh, I will give you something to cry.
Yes. Yes, my mom would say that. You did not cry. You did not cry. Now, I will say most of the kids on my side of town did not have a mom like mine, but my mom was like that. She would have been like, we had to eat we had to eat a little bit of everything she made, and we had to eat everything that was on our plate, and not to complain ever. And we never were allowed to ask if we could like go out to eat or something. No way. We were
And I don't at all, I don't at all mean to promote that as a healthy, it's survival, you know what I mean? It's people dealing with the means that they have, and then also
Yeah.
trying to raise their children to not be materialistic and shallow, and to understand what we going through. Like, you got to keep it real. But the fact that this God, this all powerful, all having, all knowing, can just speak things into existence. He says, oh, you want to fucking eat? You want to be
Yeah.
full? You want to be full? Guess how full I'm going to make you? I'm going to make you so fucking full. You've never been this full.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and obviously, like as a Christian, I always looked at this God as a father figure because you're taught, our Father, blah da 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 da. But now, when I became a parent, like obviously, I think that being a parent was probably a big part of my deconstruction because you start going, that's not how a parent should act. So even though my parents were the type of parents who were like, you should never complain ever. I didn't raise my children to be that way. I did let them know, like sometimes I would go, okay, we have to go to the grocery store right now. and I don't have extra money. I don't have it. So I know sometimes you're going to see stuff when we go to the store right now that you want. And I get that. But all I have money for is milk and chicken or whatever I was getting, right? And I would tell them, so, you know, you need to think it in your head, okay? Just don't say it out loud because it embarrasses me to keep having to tell you I can't buy it for you, you know? And I had two daughters, and my middle one, she couldn't help herself. She would still tell me like, "Can I have this?" or "Can I have that?" And my youngest one would be the, you know how you always have a kid who's not necessarily like tattling, but they're letting you know they're the better kid. And she would be like, "See, Mom, I just think it in my head. I'm not like her." And I would be
That's
like, "Yes,
hilarious.
sweetie, you just think it in your head. That's good. I appreciate that."
I didn't have any siblings, but I did that. I remember doing stuff like that. Like, see, Mom, see how I didn't tell
Yeah.
that lady
See how
that
I'm really
she
good?
was like really funky?
Maybe you should buy me that toy now. Like, maybe you should reward me for that. Okay, I think I left. I must have said the people. Okay, 24. So Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and he gathered 70 elders of the people and placed them all around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took some of the spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 elders. And when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied, but they did not do so again. Now, I want to know more about these verses, because what spirit are we talking about? Is that the Shekinah here? Like, it sounds like a spirit of burden, frankly, you know?
Not the spirit of
This is,
burden.
yeah, it does sound like a spirit of burden. He's like burdened with these people, right? And he's like, I don't get it. And what did they prophesy? And why didn't they do it again? Okay. Let's find out. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the 29,000 likes. I do have a gift goal today of the ice cream cones. 666 for Satan. Hail Satan. Hail ice cream cones. And you guys, make sure you send some love up to my twin here, Tommy J. If you are a friendly and you want to come up and hang out with us, you are more than welcome. All right, here we go. This occurs while Israel is complaining about hardship and craving meat in the wilderness. Moses, overwhelmed by leading so many people, cries out that the burden is too heavy. God responds by telling Moses to gather the 70 elders so that they can share the leadership and receive a portion of the spirit that empowers Moses. In Hebrew, ruach means breath, wind, or spirit. Here it refers to God's divine power or presence, the same life-giving force that inspires prophecy, wisdom, and leadership. It's not a separate being or a limited quantity. Rather, it's a manifestation of divine empowerment shared among the elders so they can help Moses guide the people. The Talmud Sanhedrin 17a says this does not mean Moses lost any of his own spirit. Rather, God lit other lamps from one lamp. I think that's really important to understand, because it does sound like God took something from Moses and then gave it to the other 70 people. But I guess if you picture it like he took, like, you know, light from Moses's candle and then lit other lamps, that would make more sense. So it was undiminished while others received light from it. The Ruach HaKodesh, or Holy Spirit, is reviewed as the divine prophetic inspiration, not as something depleted or divided. Why did the prophecy only happen once? Rashi, which is an 11th century rabbi that is often quoted and used when we're talking about commentaries from rabbinical sources. They prophesied only once to confirm their divine appointment. It was a sign to the people that God had chosen them as true elders and leaders. Okay, but that doesn't make sense. So I want to make sure that you really are from God, and then you prophesy once and you give me a prophecy and I'm like, okay, cool. And then you never do it again. What's the point of you even having God's spirit if you can't keep doing it? You know, I don't know. It seems kind of dumb to me. Midrash Tankuma and Sefri Bamidbar. I can never read these freaking Hebrew words. I don't know why. You guys really help me out here, man. Help me get that Dr. Bowen Hebrew course going, okay? Their one-time prophecy was a message about the future, specifically foretelling events such as the coming of the quail, the meat God would send soon after, or the eventual death of Moses and Joshua's succession. Some Midrash traditions say Eldad and Medad specifically prophesied that Moses would die and Joshua would lead Israel into the land, which explains Joshua's alarm in verse 28, which we haven't got to yet, but we will. Sanhedrin 17a and 17b. Some rabbis said that they prophesied continually afterward, but the phrase did not do so again implies only to the 70 elders near the tent, not to Eldad and Medad, who continued prophesying in the camp. So depending on interpretation, the 70 prophesied once as a sign of divine confirmation, but Meldad and Medad possibly continued prophesying longer. Some even say until their deaths. Moses' response was that all the Lord's people were prophets. We'll get to that in just a minute. But anyway, okay. I don't know.
Some even say till their deaths.
Right? It's so funny because I do want to learn the apologetics though, right? But they do bother me when I read them. I'm like, this is so obviously an apologetic. But okay. So 2 men remained in the camp, one named Eldad and the other named Medad. And, yo, Medad, what's up? No, I don't know. What a name.
One spoke Spanish, his name was Eldad.
Yes.
He was like, yo, dad. He was a little more my color.
And the Spirit rested on them. They were among those registered, but they had not gone out to the tent, and so they prophesied in the camp. And a young man ran and told Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. And Joshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moses, one of the chosen men, said, my Lord Moses, stop them. But Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Would that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit on them. And Moses and the elders of Israel returned to the camp. Like, to me, that's a little bit of Moses still complaining. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, God, I wish everybody had my burden. If everybody had it, then, you know?
You don't even know. You don't even know the half of it, bro. Like, you just be grateful for the quail coming out your nose, because if you had to deal with the shit I have to do.
You have no idea. All right, you guys, here come the quails. I accidentally mentioned his name earlier, but we're gonna go back to saying he that shall not be named. You know, that friend I have who wears a sweater and makes cute little jingles for Christians. This is one of his favorite stories here, him and his friend Shmezo. Okay. Then a wind went out from the Lord, and it brought quails from the sea and let them fall beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side and a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, about 2 cubits deep on the ground. So the people worked all the day and night and all the next day gathering the quails. The least anyone gathered was 10 homers. Wow. Homer's pretty big. I've seen him at Universal Studios, so that's a lot. And they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, before it was consumed, the anger of the Lord was kindled against the people. And the Lord struck the people with every great plague. So that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had the craving. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the people journeyed to Hazeroth. So
They buried him?
Kibroth Hattaavah is graves of craving. That's what they named the place.
They ate so much that they unalive?
That's not what happened. So he said he was going to do all that, and then he didn't. Instead, as they were eating, he just struck them with a plague and killed them all. I really hate that TikTok makes you do a puzzle while you're clearly alive, speaking and moving. You know, like I'm literally animated. I don't know why they make me do that. It's so dumb. So he didn't even do what he said he was going to do because he couldn't provide that much quail. He was just bragging again. I have to tell you a funny story. The other day, have you ever seen I Am His Pastor when like Joyful goes up and pretends to be a pastor and then I'm his deaconess? And have you ever watched that?
Nope.
It's so funny. We are the worst Christians ever when we do those roles. And
Please
Joel
send it to
will
me.
join us. The next time we go live, I'll do it. Okay. But he asked me to pray for somebody named Aaron, you know, and they usually make their like if Joel or Joyful or somebody or prays for them, it's always very dirty sounding, right? And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to make it all sexual, but I need to make it funny. Like, so what can I do? And so I said, dear Lord, I just want to pray for this man Aaron here. Lord, why did his parents name him Aaron? Aaron wasn't even the good son. Moses was the leader. Aaron was like, his second fiddle. He was the one who worshiped other gods. Lord, his parents must not love him very much. So I want to pray that Aaron's parents learn to love him.
I want to pray that we get rid of the first A. Why we need two of them?
Right? What do we need that for? Aaron. Well, actually, Rabbi Hannah says it like kind of with the second A. I just can't do it like she does. I sent the pastor a tip saying that I need a prayer because I got tricked by a fake abortion clinic. And he wouldn't read it. Oh my God, no, that's so funny. Oh my God. Okay. Aaron and Miriam jealous of Moses. Now, I'm going to read this story, and I am going to share a little information that Rabbi Bert gave me. By the way, when I share this information, he's not saying this is 100% what this means. He's saying this is one of the takes that people have taken. Remember that Jewish people are not a monolith, so they all can have different opinions about what the Bible is, saying. Obviously they don't change the translations like Christians do, but I'm saying what the overall message is supposed to be to you. Okay, so I'll read it. You can make up your own minds, but I just want to share his thoughts. Okay. While they were at Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had indeed married a Cushite woman. And they said, has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us also? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very humble, more so than anyone else on the face of the earth. Wait, I have to. Now the man Moses, where is that at? I have to highlight this because this is funny and I'll explain in a minute. Suddenly the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out, you three, to the tent of meeting. So the three of them came out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam, and the both came forward, and he said, hear my words. When the when there are prophets among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. Not so with my servant Moses. He is entrusted with all my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly, not in riddles, and he beholds the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. When the cloud went away from over the tent, Miriam had become leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned towards Miriam and saw that she was leprous. Then Aaron said to Moses, "Oh, my Lord, do not punish us for a sin that we have so foolishly committed. Do not let her be like one stillborn whose flesh is half consumed when it comes out of its mother's womb." And Moses cried to the Lord, "Oh God, please heal her." But the Lord said to Moses, "If her father had but spit in her face, would she not bear her shame for 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp for 7 days, and after that she may be brought in again." So Miriam was shut out of the camp for 7 days, and the people did not set out on the march until Miriam had been brought in again. After that, the people set out from Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. Now, when we start this story, you'll notice that what's going on is that Miriam and Aaron are talking bad about Moses because he married a Cushite woman. What Rabbi Bert taught me is they were being racist, so God punished Miriam by making her leprous, which the way they put it here, she became white as snow. So her punishment for being a racist was to be made
He
white.
made her white. He made her a Karen.
And I just thought that was funny. So I had to share. Now, that's not the way I was taught this story. I'm just going to say, as Christians, we're not taught that it's about racism. We're taught that they are questioning Moses, who has been sent by God, you know, but
Right,
and
because the
not about the
Cushites,
Cushite women.
but the Cushites, they had different gods and different practices.
Yeah.
It's like marrying a foreigner and then saying, y'all not act like these foreigners.
No, and the other thing I want to point out is we read in verse 3. Now the man Moses was very humble, more so than anyone else on the face of the earth. And I want you to remember that we are taught that Moses wrote this fucking book. So Moses is saying, now Moses was so humble. He was humble more than anyone else. Like, so Moses is not humble? Is that what I'm hearing? Moses is not humble.
And also keep in mind, Sonny, that this is, I mean, you're right. God does love superiority and supremacy, especially white
Mm-hmm.
supremacy. But
Mm-hmm.
if you challenge him, he will say, "What? Don't challenge me. He can marry anyone he wants to marry. He can marry the same sex if I want him to. If I say it's okay, don't you dare question me." And he'll strike you down for questioning him about something that you obviously know that he's against. But he'd be like, "No, when I do it, what I've ordained, let no man."
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to finish up with 13, and that's where we're going to end today because, you guys, I am so behind. I want to be a streamer. That's like my goal, but you guys have to know there is so much more work than actually going live and talking with people. Like, there's so much more work to it, and I have to fix a bunch of shit on YouTube today. By the way, if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, you should do that because I'm trying to get monetized over there. I have 630, I think, subbies now. So if you get a chance, go over, subscribe. It's I am CrystalJae, Jae, all one word. I am CrystalJae. And help me get monetized. I'd appreciate that. It's a free way that you can support me. Okay. The Lord said to Moses, "Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each of their ancestral tribes you shall send a man, every one a leader among them." So Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the command of the Lord, all of them leading men among the Israelites. These were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, son of Zakur; from the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori;
Oh,
tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh; from the tribe of Issachar,
you know what
Igal, son of
would make this scripture fun to read? If we had
what?
like WWE background music and we were like announcing
Yes!
fighters, you know?
Yes!
Son of Jacaboo!
Thank you, Sonny. Yes, yes. Oh my God. Now I'm going to picture it like that for sure. Wait, if I was better at reading the names too, I could do it like that, but I just suck at their names. They're so ridiculous. Okay, son of Joseph, from the tribe of Ephraim, Hosea, son of Nun; and from the tribe of Benjamin, Poti, son of Rothu. Okay, from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodi; from the tribe of Joseph, that is from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Susi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali; from the tribe of Asher, Sethur, son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vashi; from the tribe of Gad, Geul, son of Maki, Machi. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses changed the name of Hoshea, son of Nun, to Joshua. I wonder why he changed his name. Let's find that out now. Why did Moses change that dude's name? And what does Joshua mean? Okay. Oh. So Hoshea, Hoshea, means salvation. Okay. Joshua means Yahweh is salvation, or Yahweh saves. By adding the divine element Yah, short for Yahweh, to Hoshea's name, Moses shifted the meaning from general salvation to salvation through God. Rashi cites the Midrash that Moses prayed for Joshua before sending the spies, saying, "May God save you from the counsel of the spies." So Moses renamed him Yeshua. Okay, so that's where we always get the, oh, I don't call him Jesus, I call him Yeshua, or I call him
Yehoshua.
Yahuwah. Yahushua. Okay.
I'm about to open a laundromat called Yashawasha.
You have to do that. I don't know. That's a okay. Do we have any archaeological proof or historical proof that people actually change their names like they do all the time in the Bible? That's a good question, Sonny. That is a really good question. We do have ancient evidence showing that people changed names or were given new names in ancient Near East. But it's not the same kind of proof we want for specific stories. Well, I don't need specific stories. If you have proof that it was something they did during the time, that's just really, I just really want to know about that. The Talmud supports this reading, saying that Moses foresaw the potential rebellion of the spies and renamed Hosea to express hope that God would save him from participating in their sin. In rabbinical tradition, changing a name can indicate a change of destiny or divine role, or mark a spiritual elevation. So Moses' act symbolized empowerment and spiritual commissioning.
I mean, imagine your mama naming you salvation and then Moses coming over and saying, you know what? I'm gonna rename you God's salvation. Because the salvation before wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
God's
yeah,
salvation.
yeah. I need to make that distinction there.
I know his mama was over there like, that's pretty much what I was implying, but okay.
Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, "Go up there into the Negev and go up into the hill country and see what the land is like, and whether the people who live in it are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, or whether the land they live in is good or bad, and whether the towns that they live in are unwalled or fortified, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are trees in it or not. But behold, and but bold, oh God, I can't talk. Be bold and bring some of the fruit of the land." Now it was the season of the first ripe grapes. Hey, Joel, you're the person who I haven't been naming. I'm sorry. That the unnamed guy just popped in. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin to Rehob near Lebo Hamath. They went up into the Negeb and came to Hebron and Ahiman, Sheshai and Talmai. The Anakites were there. Hebron was built even years before Zon in Egypt. And they came to the Wadi Eshcol and cut down from there a branch with a single cluster of grapes, and they carried it on a pole between two of them. They also brought some pomegranates and figs. That place was called the Wadi Eshcol because of the cluster that the Israelites cut down from there. And that stands for cluster. That's what the word means. So, yeah,
Where are
we
they?
don't speak
Where
of
do
the.
you know where they are geographically right now?
Let me see if I can find out.
They said first ripe grapes. And I'm like, grapes grow in certain kind of conditions.
All right.
The best grapes are grown, the biggest grapes are in California, and you'll never taste better grapes than if you go to California. Oh, sorry, that's my Trump impersonation. Okay.
The Wadi Eshkol Shoked or Wadi Hebron near modern Hebron. The Hebrew Eshkol means cluster, so it's still in modern Hebron. And I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Hebron. But here's what we have for the little summary. What's going on here? Because what is this? What is the significance of these grapes? Why are we even talking about this? Like the setting is Israel's are camped at Kadesh Barnea in the wilderness of Paran on the southern edge of Canaan. Moses sends 12 men. Their mission is to scout the land's fertility, the city's defenses, and the people who live there. They explore it for 40 days. They return with grapes, figs, and pomegranate and confirm its land is flowing with milk and honey. 10 spies give a fearful report saying, well, I don't think we have gotten to that yet, but we'll read that in just a minute. So yeah, it's like modern Hebron is where they are, and that's where they were back then too. So
So like
um
let's pick a state. Like imagine you were in Arizona, right?
mm-hmm.
And you were in the middle of Arizona, and the people there were treating you bad. So you was like, I'm gonna trust God and lead me to somewhere else, to get away from this pain. Or he's like, I'm gonna deliver you out of this place. So he delivers them out, um, only to bring them right back, and you never leave Arizona.
Right?
And I understand they were walking. I get that. But why not just keep walking in the other direction? Why keep coming back? This story is just
Yes.
illogically stupid because we would have
So
been jumped Moses and said, no, we're going to keep walking this
right?
way.
We are not doing this. Um, all right. At the end of 40 days, they returned from spying out that land, and they came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the Israelites in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told them, "We came to the land to which you sent us. It flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Yet the people who live in the land are strong, and the towns are fortified and very large. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the land of the Negeb. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live by the sea and along the Jordan." But Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Then the man who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against this people, for they are stronger than we." So they brought to the Israelites an unfavorable report of the land that they had spied out, saying, "The land that we have gone through as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great size. There we saw the Nephilim, the Anakites come from the Nephilim, and to ourselves we seemed like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them." So God flooded the earth to destroy the Nephilim, and God damn it if they didn't survive. What?
Just ridiculous. How you write this and then later on put it next to a text that say king of another generation down the generation fought a Nephilim. Absolutely redonkulous.
It is so stupid. And I think that a lot of times, like, if you just think that when somebody wrote these stories, when they were originally like writing a story, some ancient dude named Tommy J is in there like, "I need to write a story about our God and how powerful he is. I need to really, get my people pumped up and stuff. So I'm going to make us all sound big and badass and stuff." Ancient Tommy J dude writing this story never thought it was going to be put together in a book over here with CrystalJae's story, and that they would be put side to side where people could compare notes. So he never thought he had to be consistent with what Crystal was saying over here. He didn't think they'd all be bound together one day. He wasn't thinking like that. And we
But the
went and
people,
put them all together, and now they don't line up.
yeah, and the people who put them all in the same library read that and knew that.
Yep,
And
they
they
did.
I think they were kind of more like, yeah, that's that's what happens when you read one book. One book gonna say one thing, and then another book is gonna say something else. They got different writers, and they're different books. So then the absurdity of putting them all together in this holy Bible, that's that's the MNF that I want to talk to. Cause
Yeah,
what?
exactly. Well, you guys, I am going to go eat so much. Tommy J, thank you for coming up and hanging out with me and talking with me this morning. We will pick up on 14 next week when the people rebel, because they're always rebelling. That's another thing that makes me think of God like an abusive ex, right? Because his little bride that he fucking loves so much, Israel, is always trying to escape him, and he just doesn't get it. Like, they don't want you. They don't like you. They're not that into you, but you can't handle it. So you get all jealous and you chase them down and you tell them they are going to love you, whether they like it or not. It just sounds like an abusive Ex-husband. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'll be live with that topic tomorrow if you want to join me. And I believe Schley will be my co-host if she can get the day to herself. So join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Tommy, when are you going live again? Tomorrow night or Friday night?
Friday, hopefully, and then sometime tonight with a friend of mine, we're breaking down some gospel music lyrics, some
Oh, I
problematic ones.
love that.
Yeah, so
Oh
we're
my
gonna break it
God.
down.
Okay, I'm gonna check in and listen to you tonight. Like in the evening, I like to get really elevated, and then I like to play little games on my phone while I listen to some good conversation. So that sounds like a
Yep,
great, great thing to do tonight is
whole
listen to
vibe.
Tommy J. Yeah,
Thanks for having me
absolutely.
up, Chris. I enjoyed.